Have you ever wondered why unexpected scars appear in your life, as if they carried hidden secrets of healing? These marks can be more than just physical signs. They represent a profound process of spiritual transformation taking place within us. In this video, we'll explore how these scars are invitations to healing and self-knowledge, revealing how each one can be a step towards your true essence and emotional freedom. Get ready to discover the signs that indicate you're on the path to renewal and how this can impact your personal journey. I'm James. My own search for meaning and purpose began when I felt lost, yearning for a deeper connection with life. On that journey, I learned that there is immense value in sharing experiences and learning from others. Recognizing the signs is the first essential step towards healing. Often, unexplained scars appear on our bodies, not just as physical wounds, but as expressions of emotional or spiritual traumas that cry out for attention. Each mark that appears is an invitation to look deeper into ourselves. It takes courage to recognize these scars as messages from our inner being, as signs that something in our life needs to be addressed and healed. On my own journey, I have come across scars that seem to appear out of nowhere. It was as if my body was reflecting emotions I hadn't processed, experiences I had buried, or even fears I hadn't faced. When I finally decided to pay attention to these marks, I realized that each one carried a story, a lesson, an aspect of my being that needed to be rescued. It was a challenging but liberating process. By embracing these scars, I began to understand that they were not something to be avoided or hidden, but an integral part of my story and my healing process. The connection between body and mind is profound and undeniable. The body is a reflection of our inner life. Our emotions, thoughts, and experiences manifest themselves physically in ways that we often can't understand at first glance. Scars can symbolize repressed emotions, unresolved experiences, or even the need for transformation. By becoming aware of how our emotions manifest physically, we can open the door to a deeper understanding of ourselves. I remember a moment when a scar on my skin led me to reflect on an experience of rejection that I had gone through years ago. I hadn't realized how this emotion was affecting me until the scar became visible. That was a turning point. I began to explore the connection between that mark and the feeling of devaluation I carried. Through introspection and reflection, I was able to work through these emotions and gradually turn pain into strength. The journey wasn't easy, but the body-mind connection gave me a deeper understanding that these scars, although painful, are an invitation to healing. It is essential that we ask ourselves questions. What could this scar be teaching me about myself? It's a powerful exercise that allows us to access our unconscious and discover hidden layers of our experiences. Often, the answer to this question can prove surprising. Scars can teach us about our resilience, our ability to overcome challenges, and, often, about the need for self-compassion. In a world that often pressures us to hide our weaknesses, accepting the presence of scars is an act of courage. Each mark on our body tells a story, a lesson learned, and a step towards self-understanding. Accepting these scars as part of our journey is crucial to healing. It's not about fighting them or trying to erase them. It's about honoring them and learning from them. In doing so, we begin to understand that these scars are not a sign of weakness, but rather a testimony to our strength and our capacity for transformation. Self-care becomes a vital practice in this process. Investing time in taking care of ourselves, both in body and soul, is an act of love. Meditation, yoga, and therapy are tools that can help us release stored emotions and facilitate healing. By dedicating myself to these practices, I have noticed a transformation not only in my physical health, but also in my emotional and spiritual health. Every moment of self-care is an opportunity to reconnect with oneself, to listen to what the body and mind are saying, and to allow healing to take place. Forgiveness is another crucial aspect of this healing process. Many scars are fed by resentments and hurts that we carry, often without realizing it. Working on forgiveness, both of ourselves and of others, can be a powerful tool for liberation. I remember a time when, by forgiving someone who had hurt me, I realized that I was also freeing myself from a pain I had carried for a long time. The act of forgiving doesn't erase the pain, but it allows us to move on, healing the scars we carry. One practice that helped me enormously was keeping a diary. Writing about my experiences, emotions, and reflections related to the scars gave me a new perspective. Each page was an opportunity to process and integrate experiences, turning pain into learning. By recording my stories, I was able to see how each scar contributed to my personal and spiritual evolution. Seeking spiritual support is equally important. Sharing our experiences can provide relief and new perspectives. Whether through support groups, spiritual therapy, or religious practices, finding a community that understands and welcomes our scars is fundamental. In these spaces, we find support and encouragement, and we can learn from each other, building a network of love and understanding. Visualization and meditation practices are also valuable tools. By imagining our scars as portals of light and healing, we allow energy to flow to the areas of pain in our lives. Meditating on the transformation we wish to see can create a space of possibility and hope. It is an invitation to reimagine our relationship with pain and scarring, allowing the light to enter and heal. Every step of the healing journey deserves to be celebrated. Our scars are testimonies of resilience and strength. Honoring our past and opening ourselves up to the possibilities of a more enlightened and healed future is what allows us to grow. By looking back and recognizing our scars as essential parts of our journey, we find a path to transformation and self-understanding. Are you ready to turn your scars into strength? The 21-Day Spiritual Challenge is the opportunity you've been waiting for to dive into your journey of healing and self-discovery. Don't leave your scars in the past. Honor them and learn from them. Click on the link in the first comment and find out how. Message from the unconscious. The scars that appear on our bodies and in our souls often carry profound messages from our unconscious. They are like beacons inviting us to look inwards and explore the issues we have been avoiding. This process is not easy, but it is essential for our spiritual and emotional evolution. When a scar appears, it is an opportune moment to ask ourselves, what could this scar be teaching me about myself? This question is a key that can open doors to a deeper understanding of our experiences and emotions. On my own journey, I have faced physical and emotional scars that seem to come out of nowhere. I remember having a mark on my arm that, when observed, made me feel uncomfortable. Instead of simply ignoring it, I decided to investigate its origin. What I discovered was surprising. Every time I looked at that scar, it reminded me of a difficult period in my life, when an important relationship fell apart and I felt betrayed. The scar became a symbol of the pain, but also of the strength I had developed by overcoming that experience. As I questioned what these scars were teaching me, I realized that they revealed not only the challenges faced, but also the lessons learned. Pain is a teacher that, although severe, offers us wisdom. By accepting this message from the unconscious, I began to transform my perspective. Instead of feeling like a victim of my experiences, I began to see myself as a learner on a path of self-discovery. I invite you to do the same. When you come across a scar, whether physical or emotional, take a moment to meditate on its meaning. Ask yourself, what does this scar represent to me? What emotions are attached to it? Often, the answers can come as whispers from our inner being. Don't be afraid to follow these clues. They can lead to valuable insights into who you are and what needs to be healed. Acceptance process. Accepting the presence of scars is a transformative step in the healing journey. We live in a society that often values perfection and flawless appearance, which can lead us to fight our marks or hide them. However, true freedom comes when we learn to accept every part of ourselves, including our scars. They are not flaws, but testimonies to our journey and our capacity for resilience. When I began to accept my scars, I realized that each one told a story. The marks that I saw as defects began to become emblems of overcoming. A scar on my knee, for example, reminded me of a childhood bicycle accident which, although painful, taught me the importance of getting up after falls. Each scar has become an invitation to reflect on the moments that have shaped my life. It is essential to remember that acceptance does not mean resignation. By accepting our scars, we recognize that they are part of who we are, but they don't completely define our identity. They are chapters in our story, not the whole book. By looking at them with love and compassion, we can release the emotional burden we carry and make room for a new narrative. I encourage you to practice acceptance in your own life. When you come across a scar, physical or emotional, try not to judge it. Instead, look at it with curiosity. Ask yourself what it represents and how it has contributed to your journey. In doing so, you may discover a new way of relating to your experiences, allowing yourself to grow and evolve. Remember that just as each scar tells a story, each story has the power to transform us. By accepting your marks, you are not only honoring what has passed, but also paving the way for a brighter future. Celebrate your scars as part of your unique identity and as testimonies to your strength and courage. Each mark is a reminder that you are a human being in constant evolution, and that, despite the wounds, it is possible to flourish and shine. Self-care practices are essential for our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. When we learn to take care of ourselves, we create a space where healing can take place. Each of us has a body that speaks its own language, and this communication often manifests itself through our scars. These marks can be an invitation to look inwards and understand what is really going on inside us. One of the most effective practices is meditation. Taking the time to sit quietly, focus on your breathing, and observe your thoughts and feelings is a powerful way to release repressed emotions. During meditation, we can visualize our scars not as wounds, but as part of our history. Each breath connects us with the present, allowing us to let go of the weight of the past. Try dedicating a few minutes a day to this practice. Feel how calmness settles in and how the mind becomes clearer. This space of stillness can open doors to understanding and acceptance. Yoga can also be a transformative practice. Through physical postures, we not only work on the body, but also align the mind and spirit. Each movement can be a way of releasing stagnant energy that may be linked to these emotional scars. When we do a heart-opening pose, for example, we are symbolically opening ourselves up to healing and the release of resentments. Try connecting with your body and allowing yourself to feel. Take your time. Each session is an opportunity for self-discovery. Therapy, in turn, can be a safe space to explore the emotions surrounding the scars. Talking to a professional can help bring out feelings that often remain buried. The simple act of talking about our experiences can be liberating. By sharing our stories, we begin to understand that we are not alone in our journey. This gives us the chance to look at our scars from a new perspective, recognizing them as part of our growth. In addition, it is essential that each of us develops a self-care practice that resonates with our essence. This can include walks in nature, relaxing baths, reading inspiring books, or any activity that makes us feel good. Self-care is not a luxury, but a necessity. When we dedicate ourselves to taking care of ourselves, we create an environment conducive to healing. Many of the scars we carry are rooted in resentments and hurts that have not been resolved. Forgiveness is a powerful tool that can set us free. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or minimizing pain. It means releasing the emotional weight we carry. Often, forgiveness is more about ourselves than about the other person. When we hold on to resentments, we are allowing them to control us. By releasing these feelings, we create space for healing and growth. It can be challenging to forgive, especially when the pain is deep. One way to do this is to write a letter. It doesn't have to be sent. It's an exercise in letting go. Write down everything you feel, all the hurts, the injustices. Then write a letter of forgiveness. This symbolic act can open up an inner space for healing. Remember that forgiveness is a process and can take time. Be kind to yourself as you navigate this journey. It is equally important that you forgive yourself. We are often our own worst critics. The scars we carry can also be a reflection of mistakes or decisions we have made. Practice self-compassion. Look at your scars and recognize that they are part of your story, but they don't define who you are. Each of us deserves the chance to forgive ourselves and move on. Take a moment to reflect on the aspects of your life that you would like to forgive. Let compassion and self-love penetrate your being. These practices of self-care and forgiveness are not only ways of dealing with visible scars, but also help us to face invisible emotional scars. By working on them, you can see transformations in your life. relationships, and even your physical health. By releasing emotions and resentments, you not only promote healing, but also pave the way for new experiences and deeper connections. Always consider that every step towards healing is an act of love. By taking care of yourself and forgiving, you are allowing yourself the opportunity to rise again, stronger and more aware. Remember that the journey is unique for each of us. The important thing is to take these steps, however small. Keep exploring your emotions, practicing self-care and seeking forgiveness. These actions will transform your scars into milestones of overcoming and growth. Record of transformation. The practice of keeping a journal is a powerful tool in the journey of healing and self-understanding. By writing about your scars, not only physical but also emotional and spiritual, you begin to unravel layers of your own story. It's a safe space where you can express your thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment. By recording your experiences, you give yourself the opportunity to see what was hidden in the shadows of your mind. When you sit down to write, you don't have to worry about grammar or form. The important thing is to let your emotions and reflections flow. Ask yourself, what does this scar represent to me? What feelings does it evoke? Sometimes, by putting words on paper, you can discover connections that were previously unclear. Scars can symbolize loss, trauma, or even moments of overcoming. Each one carries a story that deserves to be told. In my own experiences, I've found that writing has allowed me to process challenging situations. When I wrote about a difficult time in my life, I noticed that words became a form of liberation. The act of externalizing what was trapped inside me brought clarity, and sometimes even a sense of relief. The scars that once seemed heavy began to turn into marks of learning and growth. As well as recounting your experiences, you can create gratitude lists in your journal. This exercise helps to change your perspective on the scars, allowing you to see not only the pain, but also the lessons that came with it. By recognizing the blessings in the midst of difficulties, you connect more deeply with your essence and your healing process. Establishing a writing routine, however brief, can be an act of self-care. Dedicate a specific time in your day to reflect and record your thoughts. Over time, you can return to these notes and realize how much you have evolved. The diary will become a testimony to your journey, a tool that will help you move forward and understand yourself better. Spiritual support. Seeking spiritual support is a fundamental step in the healing journey. We often deal with our burdens alone, but sharing our experiences can be transformative. Spiritual support can come in many forms: support groups, religious communities, or spiritual therapies. Sharing experiences with other people facing similar challenges can provide relief and new perspectives. In my journey, I have found great comfort in support groups. Sharing my experiences and listening to other people's stories was a balm for my soul. The simple act of being heard and accepting the vulnerability of being among people who understand your pain makes a significant difference. It is in this space that we realize that we are not alone, that our scars do not define us, but are part of a collective experience of healing and learning. In addition, many spiritual traditions offer practices that can strengthen your inner connection. Meditation, prayer, and contemplation are ways of connecting with something greater, of seeking guidance and strength. When you open up to spirituality, you begin to realize that your scars are, in fact, opportunities for growth. They become part of your spiritual path, helping to shape who you are and who you are becoming. Having a spiritual mentor or guide can also be of great help. These professionals have tools and techniques that can facilitate the healing process. They can help you explore your scars in a deeper way, offering insights that you may not be able to see on your own. The mentor-mentee relationship is a partnership based on trust and understanding, where each respects the other's path. Another form of spiritual support can come through art. Artistic expressions, such as painting, dance, or music, can be channeled as ways of releasing repressed emotions. When you allow yourself to create, you can discover new ways of expressing the pain and beauty that your scars carry. Finally, it's essential to remember that spiritual support doesn't have to be complex or linked to a specific religion. It can be as simple as spending time in nature, listening to inspiring music, or practicing gratitude. The important thing is to find what resonates with you. what makes your heart vibrate and your soul feel at peace. By seeking this support, you open yourself up to a world of possibilities and healing that might previously have seemed inaccessible. Visualization and meditation are powerful tools that can transform our perspective on the scars we carry, be they physical, emotional, or spiritual. By establishing a sacred space in your mind, you can learn to see these marks not as mere traces of pain, but as portals of light that facilitate your healing journey. The practice of visualization allows us to create vivid mental images that can profoundly impact our emotional and physical state. When visualizing your scars, try to imagine that each one is a channel that connects you to a healing light, which flows and expands, bringing love and peace into your life. Start this practice by finding a quiet place where you can sit or lie down comfortably. Close your eyes and breathe deeply, allowing each breath to lead you into a state of relaxation. Start focusing on the scars you carry. Visualize them as representations of past experiences, but also as opportunities for transformation. Imagine that each scar is a line of energy that connects you to a greater power, to a state of healing and renewal. Feel the light emanating from this portal, filling your being and dissolving any blockages or associated pain. During this meditation, allow yourself to feel the emotions that arise. Often, scars are linked to deep feelings that need to be acknowledged and released. If tears arise, let them flow. This is part of the healing process. You are allowing stagnant energy to leave, making room for new possibilities. Connect with the feeling of love and compassion that comes from within and without. This energy is healing, and by allowing yourself to receive it, you activate a healing cycle that expands beyond you. In addition to visualization, regular meditation is a practice that can help transform scars. By meditating, you connect to a higher state of consciousness, where you can access inner wisdom. This not only helps to release repressed emotions, but also provides clarity about what these scars represent in your life. You can opt for guided meditations that focus on healing and transformation, or simply sit in silence, allowing your intuition to guide you. Another effective practice is guided meditation that focuses on your personal healing journey. You can create a visualization where you see yourself walking along a path of light, where each scar turns into a blossoming flower. As you go along, feel the energy of these flowers filling your being with love and compassion. This powerful image reinforces the idea that your scars are actually marks of resilience and growth. Honoring your scars with visualization and meditation practices is a vital step on the healing journey. These practices not only promote healing on deeper levels, but also help to create a new narrative about who you are. Instead of seeing yourself as a person scarred by pain, you begin to see yourself as a constantly evolving being who has learned and grown from your experiences. Each scar becomes a symbol of your strength and capacity for transformation. Celebrate your journey by recognizing the importance of these practices in your life. Set aside time each day to connect with yourself, whether through visualization or meditation. As you become more aware of your body and mind, you will realize that scars, in all their forms, are part of a bigger story. They don't define who you are, but bear witness to your unique path and the lessons you've learned. Celebrating your healing journey goes beyond individual practice. It is essential to share your experiences with others. When you open up about your scars and what they mean, you can inspire others to do the same. Often, by sharing your stories, you create a safe space for others to feel comfortable exploring their own scars. This sharing is a powerful form of community healing, where everyone learns and grows together. What's more, by celebrating your journey, you become a beacon of hope and resilience for those around you. Your ability to turn pain into strength can touch lives in ways you can't even imagine. Never underestimate the power your experiences have to inspire and heal others. Every step you take towards acceptance and healing is an invitation for others to do the same. Recognizing and celebrating your scars is an act of self-love. Each one carries a story, a lesson, and an opportunity for growth. By honoring your past, you make room for a brighter future. Allow yourself to feel gratitude for every experience that has shaped who you are today. This practice of gratitude is transformative and helps to create a space of love and acceptance in your life. Therefore, by integrating visualization and meditation into your life, and by celebrating your healing journey, You not only transform your relationship with your scars, but you also become an agent of change and inspiration for those around you. Each scar you carry is an important part of your story, and by honoring them, you honor yourself and your journey. On that journey, I learned that there is immense value in sharing experiences and learning from others. Recognizing the signs is the first essential step towards healing. Often, unexplained scars appear on our bodies, not just as physical wounds, but as expressions of emotional or spiritual traumas that cry out for attention. Each mark that appears is an invitation to look deeper into ourselves. It takes courage to recognize these scars as messages from our inner being, as signs that something in our life needs to be addressed and healed. On my own journey, I have come across scars that seem to appear out of nowhere. It was as if my body was reflecting emotions I hadn't processed, experiences I had buried, or even fears I hadn't faced. When I finally decided to pay attention to these marks, I realized that each one carried a story, a lesson, an aspect of my being that needed to be rescued. It was a challenging but liberating process. By embracing these scars, I began to understand that they were not something to be avoided or hidden, but an integral part of my story and my healing process. The connection between body and mind is profound and undeniable. The body is a reflection of our inner life. Our emotions, thoughts, and experiences manifest themselves physically in ways that we often can't understand at first glance. Scars can symbolize repressed emotions, unresolved experiences, or even the need for transformation. By becoming aware of how our emotions manifest physically, we can open the door to a deeper understanding of ourselves. I remember a moment when a scar on my skin led me to reflect on an experience of rejection that I had gone through years ago. I hadn't realized how this emotion was affecting me until the scar became visible. That was a turning point. I began to explore the connection between that mark and the feeling of devaluation I carried. Through introspection and reflection, I was able to work through these emotions and gradually turn pain into strength. The journey wasn't easy, but the body-mind connection gave me a deeper understanding that these scars, although painful, are an invitation to healing. It is essential that we ask ourselves questions. What could this scar be teaching me about myself? It's a powerful exercise that allows us to access our unconscious and discover hidden layers of our experiences. Often, the answer to this question can prove surprising. Scars can teach us about our resilience, our ability to overcome challenges, and, often, about the need for self-compassion. In a world that often pressures us to hide our weaknesses, accepting the presence of scars is an act of courage. Each mark on our body tells a story, a lesson learned, and a step towards self-understanding. Accepting these scars as part of our journey is crucial to healing. It's not about fighting them or trying to erase them. It's about honoring them and learning from them. In doing so, we begin to understand that these scars are not a sign of weakness, but rather a testimony to our strength and our capacity for transformation. Self-care becomes a vital practice in this process. Investing time in taking care of ourselves, both in body and soul, is an act of love. Meditation, yoga, and therapy are tools that can help us release stored emotions and facilitate healing. By dedicating myself to these practices, I have noticed a transformation not only in my physical health, but also in my emotional and spiritual health. Every moment of self-care is an opportunity to reconnect with oneself, to listen to what the body and mind are saying, and to allow healing to take place. Forgiveness is another crucial aspect of this healing process. Many scars are fed by resentments and hurts that we carry, often without realizing it. Working on forgiveness, both of ourselves and of others, can be a powerful tool for liberation. I remember a time when, by forgiving someone who had hurt me, I realized that I was also freeing myself from a pain I had carried for a long time. The act of forgiving doesn't erase the pain, but it allows us to move on, healing the scars we carry.